Oh, all right. Good evening or good afternoon, everybody, again. So today's session is payroll, favorite HR duty. So payroll, we all know what payroll is, right? Let me ask, what's payroll? Your understanding or in your understanding, what's payroll?
Okay, like from what I read on Allison,
Mm-hmm.
payroll is a payment format like a payslip that comprises of what the gross is, your deductions, your net pay, and if there are
Okay.
benefits or compensations that that person or that staff is entitled to, it's also enlisted. So the pay is like a summary of what your gross pay is, your deductions, and your net pay, and any other benefits.
Okay, thank you. Blessing, what's next? What is payroll?
Sorry, I didn't get to.
What's payroll? What do you think payroll is?
Okay, from layman understanding, I think payroll is like I won't say inventory, like where all the list or how much it is that is paid to everyone in the organization.
Okay.
Like a compilation of the list to see how much is paid to each worker or individual.
All right. Well, that, at least we all have an idea of what payroll is. So basically, payroll is a process that an organization will use to calculate or to manage and pay. So calculate, manage, and pay their employees' salaries or wages. So basically, a payroll is equal everything involved in paying a staff correctly and on time because it's a payroll that will help us pay staff correctly and not paying um, Blessing salary to Miriam or Miriam salary to Blessing. So what does payroll comprises of? Salary components, if there are any deductions, in some companies it deducts for different things, net pay calculation, okay? So that's a compilation of what a payroll is. So a payroll, you have your salary. Every salary has a salary structure. Every organization has a salary structure. So the payroll will help you calculate these salaries, including the allowance, including the deductions. We are giving bonuses. Payroll will help you do that. That's what this slide is talking about. Process salaries, include the allowance and deductions, ensure staff rather are paid correctly, and ensure that it's accurate and it's timely. So salary components. Now, a basic salary, let me not say basic salary. Every organization has a salary structure, which is the salary component that comprises of basic salary, housing, transport, meal, entertainment. It depends. So majorly the most common ones are these four: basic, housing, transport. Can you hear me? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, is the
yes,
noise
we can.
enough?
Yes, we can.
Okay, give me a minute.
Is the what? Um,
Hear me? Can you hear me now?
yes, I can.
Okay,
Yes, loud and clear.
and you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your
Okay,
screen.
so the
Yes.
most common basic salary structure or components: basic salary, housing, transport. Okay, and transport. For my organization, we have basic, we don't have housing. We have basic, we have transport, we have meal, MEAL, and then we have entertainment. But the most common what you will see is
Wow,
basic
I like your organization.
basic salary, housing, transport, and get other allowances. So different organizations have their different salary structure, but generally, basic housing, transport, okay, meal depends. So, but for my organization, we don't have housing. We have basic, we have transport, we have meal, and then we have entertainment. And the thing is, don't let all those one um get you carried away. Why? Because that's just still your net salary. What do I mean? If you're say you're paying you 500,000, the 500,000 is the combination of everything that gives you 500,000. So it's not that they are paying you extra. Do you understand me? So the combination of all these,
Okay.
yes, the combination of all these things is your gross salary. You know, we have gross salary and we have net salary. So the combination of all these things give you your gross salary. So combination of if your gross salary, agreed gross salary is already 500K, everything here adds up to 500K. So it's not that there's an extra one that makes it more than 500K. No. So the basic, the housing, the transport, and every other allowance that you have totals the gross salary, which is the 500K. If 500K is your gross salary. Now, after gross salary, we have gross salary and we have net salary. If your gross salary is 500K, that does not mean you're going home with 500K at the end of the month. That's why we have the net salary. So let's say, for example, this is now gross equals basic plus all the allowances. So example, basic is $100,000, housing is $50,000, transport is $30,000, then the gross, that's the total, is now $180,000. That's your gross salary. But that does not mean this is what you are going home with. Okay, but this is your gross salary. Now, deductions. So some company have pension, you have to pay your tax, NHF, this housing fund. Not everybody do that, but you know, government parastatals, they do that. The big Shell and all, Renaissance, former Shell, they all do, they all have NHF, but it's not common. So pension tax, we now have to deduct it. Pension is 8% of transport and basic salary. So let's go back to the breakdown. So let's say we are using this now, basic housing and transport. Okay, basic housing and transport. So 8%, pension is now 8% of basic plus housing plus transport. Okay, let me use another example, yes. So let's say we have, let me add meal, just like my organization, we have meal. So let me put meal 20,000. So that equals $200,000. So pension is only 8% of basic plus housing plus transport. Meal is not inclusive. Okay? Pension is just BHT, basic housing transport. You total it, 100 plus 50 plus 30 gives you 180. So 8%, what's 8% of 180? What's 8% of $180,000?
18 times 8.
I'm
That's
waiting.
144.
Come again?
144.
No, that cannot be right.
No, me,
8%,
8 over
8% of 180,
8%.
okay.
14,400.
Okay. Okay, that's 180. Yes, 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 yes.
Yes.
That's
So
180.
14,400 is now the deduction for pension. Pension 8%. Remember, we're not deducting for meal. So for example, let's say my organization, we don't have housing, we only have basic transport, meal, entertainment. So let me change this to entertainment. Okay. So what will be, how are we going to calculate our pension?
It will be basic plus transport.
Thank you. So it's going to be basic plus transport because my salary structure, we don't have housing. So it's going to be basic plus transport. But officially, it's basic housing and transport. 8% of those three will give you your pension. Do you understand?
Yes.
Can we move on?
Yes, please.
So we
And
can move
just to
on.
confirm, this
Yes.
pension,
Mm-hmm.
is it like, I know where I work, they deduct for pension. But
Mm-hmm.
this pension, can we access it? Or maybe when you leave the job, that one has gone, or
You
even
should
when you move to another
no,
job.
no. You should already have your pension ID. For example, in
Yes.
organization, if you have your pension ID, there are different pension providers. So if you have your pension ID, they'll give you your pension ID, so you can even access mine. We have an app. Our pension providers have an app, so I can download the
Yes.
app and monitor every time they
Yes.
pay pension. Your organization paying pension, you should get an email or something from your pension providers.
The
Maybe
text
not
message.
immediately because it takes
Yes.
time for them to process, right? But you should get. I get an
Yes.
email of. I know how much is in my pension account. So even when I leave to another organization, all I have to do
Mhm.
is take my ID, my pension ID that I already have, give it to my new organization so they can continue paying my pension to that same account. That's it. But you can, of
Yes.
course, you cannot, it's
Yes.
pension, you cannot access it until you are retired or something. But there are other clauses to it. You get, maybe you're out of job for a number of time or something.
Mhm.
There is a clause to it. But generally, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Yes, please.
Okay. The background noise a lot.
Sorry?
The background noise.
No,
No,
I'm not. Is it from my own end or
is there any
yours?
background noise?
No, no, no.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem. So I was saying the pension. So you should already have, so where you are, if you're paying pension, ask for your pension ID. You should have a pension ID already. What's your pension provider? What's the name of your pension provider? They should tell
I
you,
think
ask
it's
the
Stanbic.
HR. What do you say?
I said I think it's Stanbic because I know there was one time they said you should
Exactly.
open
So ask for
Stanbic.
your pension ID. You should be able to see, okay, this is what you have in your whatever you get. So when you leave this organization and go to another company, you take all you have to do is
Mm.
take your pension ID and submit it to HR so that your pension from there will not be
Yes.
paid again. Continue. So you don't have to be having different pension accounts when you know. You just take your pension ID from one organization as you are moving to the next and submit it there. That's it. And it continues.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Mine is tab. You can even go to their office there. They are very
Never go to their
accessible.
office.
You can go to.
Yes.
Yes, but you're supposed to be getting like but Stacy said, I get mail and I also get text message. You are supposed to be getting text messages whenever a transaction is carried out on your pension account. So if you ask your accountant what your pension ID is and then update your records with Stanbic. That means maybe you didn't give them any phone number for them to be sending you updates.
Yes. So please, you
No
can
problem.
ask for you should ask for your pension ID. You should ask for it. Anyway, so now we understand how to get pension, calculate pension, right?
Yes,
Aha.
Yes, please.
Okay. So remember that's gross salary. So after having, you already know your salary structure, how you're breaking. Okay, let me go back to salary structure. Now, every component of the salary structure has a percentage. What do I mean? Everything should total 100%. Everything should total 100%. Okay. So we can say basic salary. This is an example. This is not standard. Okay. Basic salary is, okay, let me give you the salary structure that I use. All right. So basic salary 37.5. of gross. Meal. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
25.5%. Transport, 26.25%. And then entertainment, 10.75%. Add this up together. How many does it give? How many percent does it give us?
Okay.
That's 100%.
How many percent does it give us?
100.
100.
Exactly, it gives us 100%. So this is our gross. So every salary structure has breakdown, and their breakdown has a percentage, and they are not the same percentage. But in total, everything will give you 100%, which is your gross salary. So now that we have gotten gross salary, we go back to the deductions. So for deductions now, we have
Yes.
done pension.
Okay, sorry, please, just a quick question. So
Okay.
this percentage for the basic salary is just you as the HR that will come up with the amount. Like you can say, okay, housing will be 30 something point something. So
Yeah.
it
So
just
that
has to be total 100%, basically.
you can go online, right, and search for what's it called? Standard salary structure. So you can
Okay.
now use that as a basis, okay, to help you. Okay, let's use this structure. If you get more than one, two structures, you cannot compare and know why you should use this structure. For example, I can say I'm using this structure example, right? Now that there's no what's it called? There's no housing. This now
No
takes
housing.
there's no housing, right? So this now reduces a bit the amount that is deducted for pension. Can you see that? Because if we had housing, I'm going to be deducting from basic housing and transport. But now that there's no housing,
Yes.
right? Now I'm just only basic and transport. So that's reducing the amounts that we are paying for what's it called? For pension. So you now have to determine from what you see, what salary structure am I going to use and why am I using the salary structure? But so you can go online and just search for basic salary structure breakdown in Nigeria, and you're going to get. Okay, you know what? Let's do that example now. Let's go. Let's go to, you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
All right. Let's do salary structure.
But it's not changing.
Can you see my screen?
It's just on that click to add title where you give
Oh,
us the
okay.
example of basic salary.
Okay, let me change. Let me change. Um, can you see my screen?
No,
What
it's
can you
still on
see?
that.
Yeah.
What
You
can
see
you
on
see?
click to add title, basic salary 37 point. Okay, it has gone to Google.
So you can see me typing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Basic salary structure breakdown in Nigeria. You see basic salary, housing, transport, meal, utility. Let me add percentage. Salary structure, percentage breakdown. Can you see? Basic salary 40%,
Yes.
housing allowance 30%, transportation 30%.
That's it.
Can you see?
Yes.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-huh. So this another one is basic salary, maybe 40 to 60%, depends. Housing allowance 20 to 30, transportation allowance 10 to 20. Then other allowances can include utility, medical, or entertainment allowances, vary by company.
Company.
So yeah, so it varies by the company. So that's just an example. That's just an example. So back to our slide. So yes, so you can, so when you want to create a salary structure, first of all, every organization already has, except maybe it's just an organization that's starting, you already have something that they are using, okay, majorly, maybe not all. You already have a structure. So if they don't have a structure, so what you can do now is break it down. But where you will have a bit of a challenge is organizations that do not, what's it called? Do not have a gross, they just have a net. Oh, they interview you, how much are we going to pay you? 120, and that's it. So you don't have a gross, there's nothing else, there's no deduction, there's no tax, there's no pension, there's nothing, nothing, nothing. They just have a net salary. Do you understand? That's why you're not going to have,
Yes.
that's why you're not going to have a bit of a challenge. But otherwise, you're not it's a bit of a challenge. So now you don't have to start, what's it called? Getting a gross. That was the first challenge I got when I came into my organization.
When
We
they
just,
and they ask you to
come again,
raise the pay.
come again.
What if you get an employment offer and then one of the duties the person
I can't hear you. You
the
have to.
company?
And one of the duties is what?
Sorry?
I didn't get your
We
question.
could not hear you.
Okay. I was asking if maybe someone gets employment in an organization and the organization does not have this payroll structure and you are being asked to like develop a payroll structure for the company. Is this how we are going to go about it?
Yes. So there's no payroll
Okay.
structure for an organization. So first of all, you now have to determine, okay, how much, what is currently on ground? Is it just net? Like I was saying, you just had net in a company I worked with. You just had net. So when you come, oh, your salary is 500K, that's it. There's no tax, there's no, what's it called? There's no pension, there's nothing, there's no gross,
Pension.
there's just net salary. So you cannot, what's it
Mm.
called? You cannot there's no breakdown for a net salary because the breakdown is gross in total. You have this, you have this. So there are two options to that. One, is the company now, do they want to pay tax, start paying tax and everything? Because we now have to have a breakdown. You cannot choose your structure. Do you want to say basic salary is 20? You want to do basic housing and transport, just those three? You want to do basic housing, transport, meal? You have to decide what you want to do first of all. So you want to break it down first of all. That's one. So once you have gotten how you want to break it down, now the next thing is the because now that what's it called? We have tax, it's not compulsory, right? Everybody needs to pay tax and all. So now at least we have a tax deductible. So even if you're not paying pension, so we have tax deductible. So you're going to break your salary into the basic housing, transport, meal, you get a total gross, then your deductible will not be taxed. So there's a website to calculate how to calculate to know how much tax to pay. There's already a breakdown. If you're earning up to 800,000 naira in a year, there's a percent you are not. If you're earning less than 800,000 naira, you are tax exempt. You don't have to pay tax. If you're earning 800K and above, there's a percentage you have to pay. Different amounts above 800,000, there are different amounts you have to pay. I can share the structure for you later. So once you have gotten, and there's also a website where you can just impute, there's also a website where you can just impute, what's it called? Impute the basic salary, okay, this is what this person is earning a year. And then this website will calculate how much tax they are supposed to pay, that person is supposed to pay. So there's a site to calculate that too. So once they're broken down, let's say there's no, the company is a small company, they don't do pension and all the things. So you can just break down your basic housing transport if that's what you want to do, or basic housing transport meal, whatever structure you want to go and get the percentage. But the total has to be 100. Okay. So once you get 100%, now you determine what are the deductibles. Is it just tax? If it's just tax, then that's fine. You can now get a tax calculation and do a deduction. So if the salary is 200,000 naira, for example, so after, if you do your deduction per month, yearly, they'll give you the tax the person to pay in the year and then break it down into months, the tax the person to pay monthly. Then you now do it minus that will not give you the person's take home. Is that clear? Hello, am I speaking to myself?
This
Hello?
tax. Can you hear me?
Come again?
This tax side, you kind of lowered your voice, so I didn't really get what you were saying about the tax
I said
side.
after
Is
once
there
you
a
in a new company, after you break it down into the structure first, basic housing transport meal, okay? Get the percentage.
okay?
The total has to be, so let's assume that they don't do pension,
100.
they don't do tax, they don't do anything, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So we assume that the company does not do anything. Maybe it's a new company, they don't do anything, and they're not ready to do those things. So just break it down into this basic
Mm.
housing transport meal and get your take-home
Okay.
salary. But usually it's supposed to give you a gross. But now tax is very important. Everybody has to pay tax, so everybody is paying tax. So after getting the gross,
Mm.
the 200K, there's a website that you can calculate how much tax this person is supposed to pay. In the website, you just impute the person's, let me share my screen. You impute the person's yearly salary. So if the person is earning 150K every month, 150K times 12 will give you the gross for the year. We give you the total for the year. So you now impute that yearly salary and the website calculates how much tax the person is supposed to pay every month. So once we get that, we now minus it. So 200K minus that amount for tax will now give you the person's net, how much the person will be taking home every month. Do you understand?
Yes.
Is that clear?
So what's the name of the site?
Okay, let me just open it. Let me just open it. 1 minute. So I can get the name for you because it's bookmarked on my browser. Okay, so the name of the site is my RIRS. Okay, hold on, let me open it. Ref, this is Riftemis. This is for pay tax. That's not to calculate. Tax calculator rather. So fiscal reforms. I'm sending the link now to the chat.
Group.
No,
Okay.
here on
This chat.
no, here on
Okay.
this call. So you can just copy
Okay.
and then save. Yes,
Is it to the group?
He
chats.
said to this chat.
Hmm?
To this chat. This call.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen so you can see the tax calculator. So this is the website. Let me just put the link on the chat first before. Okay. Okay. So I've put the link on the chat so you can just copy and paste. I think network is it's still opening. So if it opens before we finish, then I'll just show I'll just show you how that works. So
No,
come again.
I can't see any link on the chat.
Blessing, can you see the
There's
link?
no.
Not yet.
Okay, I sent the link on the chat. But anyway, I'll put it down on
Is it the
the,
WhatsApp? Okay.
no, the
Now
link,
I've checked WhatsApp. It's not there.
not WhatsApp, on the
Mm.
Zoom call. I just sent it on the Zoom
Cool.
call.
Okay, I've seen
Okay.
it now on the Zoom
Just
call.
Yes. Yes. So I've sent the link on the Zoom call that can help you with the tax calculation. Yes. So when you break down your salary into this part, you can now minus the deductibles official, which is the tax first. If that's the only thing the company is paying first. But the company is also going to, do you understand? So that's the simple one. Just remove the tax and then the remaining is not the take home once you pay the staff at the end of the month. Well, do you understand? Hello?
Writing down the. I was
Hello.
writing down for me. I was writing down the link.
Okay.
You can just click on it now, copy it.
I don't want to leave this page.
Okay, so
But she calculated something, so I was trying to see what.
so I'm moving on. So after
Yes.
deducting the pension and the pay tax, you cannot get your take home. That's net salary, which is what you're going to pay the employee at the end of the month. So most companies, they bargain based on gross. Okay, so when they are hiring, okay, how much gross are you looking at? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, 900 gross. Oh, 2 million naira gross. Blah, blah. So after deductibles, you now have lesser than, a bit less because they have to deduct pension, they have to deduct tax and all those things. So at the end of the month, you now know what you're going home with. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, yes, we've done deductibles. Now, payroll process. I'm going to show you the proper payroll. I just want to understand what you will see first before I show you what it looks like. Okay, I just wanted to show you how to get there. So you know, you're not just seeing this and you ask, okay, how did this come about? You need to understand what the information you need to know first before you can start preparing the table in the Excel sheet, the payroll in the Excel sheet. So payroll process, first of all, every organization, there's no one size fits all. Some organizations, you collect attendance. So if